Hello and welcome here again live to the World Crypto Network to a new show in this series, Open Source Everything, where we talk about amazing open source hardware and software. And today I'm excited to talk about the amazing Wasabi Wallet. And we're here joined by an amazing panel of Adam, the lead developer of the Wasabi Wallet. What's up, Adam?
Hi, guys.
We got Blake Anderson here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we're honored to have you, Blake. And last but absolutely not least, we got live just coming from Block Digest, which was a fantastic episode. So guys, please check out Block Digest. They just did an amazing episode. We got Shinobius. What's up?
Hello, everybody. I just tagged along to shitpost with my mouth.
Perfect. What else would you want? So to start off this discussion, we are going to read a little bit from a fantastic quote from Timothy May. The net is an anarchy. This truism is the core of crypto anarchy. No central control, no ruler, no leader, except by example and reputation. No laws, with a lowercase l. No single nation controls the net. No administrative body sets policy. The Ayatollah in Iran is as powerless to stop a news group, alt.wanted.muslim.women, or alt.wanted.muslim.gay. Come to mind, he, like the president of France, is as powerless to stop, say, about abuse of the French in soc.culture.french. Likewise, the CIA can't stop news groups or sites or web pages and give away their secrets, at least not in terms of the net itself. What non-net steps might be taken is left as an exercise for the paranoid and the cautious. So this is a fantastic quote. And Adam, what do you say about this amazing quote by Timothy May?
It's a very anarchist quote. We are not anarchists, we are statists.
Of course we are, absolutely. So of course, guys, we are talking about the truly amazing Wasabi Wallet. And it is in beta right now. It is a software, but Adam has been working on this for quite a bit. So Adam, would you just speak a little bit about how long you've been working on this and what you've previously done with this software?
Yes. So I started a very, very long time ago. The whole thing came just like I wanted to contribute something to Bitcoin, and I thought there is this new thing on Reddit, and everyone is very excited about it, and it was called Join Market. I don't know. Have you guys heard about Join Market?
Yeah, it's the first actually usable CoinJoin implementation that could really attract liquidity. I mean, it's some pretty nice stuff, but my only issue with it is it's not very transitory, you know what I mean? Having to have the market makers online constantly and deal with them. I've always found it works perfectly, but it's like I've always wanted to see something that was a little more like we come together, we do it, and then we're gone. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's what Wasabi is doing. Actually, I like Join Market a lot. It's really hard to use because the developers were not concentrating that much on the ease of use, but that's just a practical issue. Anyway, so I wanted to work on that, and my idea was to build a Windows user interface. It was a command line software. Build a Windows user interface so people can use it more easily. And I did it, but then I couldn't connect their Python code with my C# code. it seems like something easy, but it was not. So I was so much into this problem that I ended up going to I ended up my idea was, all right, if I cannot connect my the Python join markets Python code with my C# code, I'm going to just rewrite join market altogether. So this was the idea. And all right, but first I have to learn how to build stuff in Bitcoin with C#. So I read the book, Nicolas Dorier's book. He's the .NET Bitcoin developer, and I did not go any closer. It was a very hard book. So I contacted Nicolas. I hope to get into contact with him and learn something from him if he needs some help. You know, you are sending emails to people. You are not waiting for answers. Like, I don't know how many emails did you guys send to, let's say, Mark Zuckerberg. I didn't send anything. I sent him Facebook messages, but he never answered. Point is, Nicolas answered, and a couple of days later, I found myself on a plane flying to Japan and working with Nicolas on C# and Bitcoin. And from there on, I kept this privacy-oriented Bitcoin wallet idea in my mind and was working on it. But then new issues came up with specific Bitcoin privacy techniques, and I realized that, oh, but this will fail on the network level, so I have to solve that thing first, and then this will do this, this will do that. So a lot of issues came up, and I ended up working on these issues for like I don't know, 2-3 years altogether, and now here I am, and here we are. We have a team and released Wasabi Wallet about a month ago, and we released the 1.0 version in 2 months, right? October 31, the 10-year anniversary of the Bitcoin white paper. So exciting times, I think.
Mm-hmm. You know, because I think, like, I remember when, like, we first, like, really met and started talking about it, like, I think you were still kind of working through a lot of the, like, network side things as far as privacy was concerned, and you were looking at Jonas Schnelli's like SPV full block mode, and that was kind of like where a lot of your development thoughts, process or planning was before roast beef came up with the whole neutrino client side filtering concept. And it really isn't that trivial of a thing to deal with all of the network side privacy issues, because like you could be completely perfect with the on-chain privacy, but if you screw up the information you're leaking on the network, then I mean, like all of the effort, like making things private on chain, it just poof, like it's pointless.
I mean, it's a really hard problem if you think about it. How do you, if there is a backend server, and in every Bitcoin wallet there is a backend server, except a couple of exceptions like Bitcoin Core, and how do you ask the backend server that you want your wallet to show your balance, and how do you ask the backend server to tell you what is your balance without exposing which are your addresses? You know, it's quite a hard problem, and it's really nice that that the Lightning dev roast beef came up with a quite elegant solution for that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or sorry, Max. I'm still in the mindset.
Blake, go ahead.
Digest.
I want to get Blake's point of view on what has been said previously. Just jump in.
Well, I'm just a fly on the wall for right now. I mean, I'm going to weigh in when I get a chance, but at this point, you know, Shinobi and Adam know a lot more about this topic than I do, so I don't want to opine out of turn about things that I don't know enough about. I've been busy having babies, so this is just fascinating for me. I want to continue to listen.
Okay, perfect. Well, then I would say let's get into this Wasabi wallet and what it is actually all about. And of course, first thing that you have to do when you are testing this is that you have to go to the GitHub. So github.com/ck/wasabi wallet. And let's maybe just go quickly, really quickly on what you have to do to install basic Linux commands here. And it is or first you have to install this Git, of course Git used for a lot of software. Then the .NET Core .stk. This is a easy copy and paste install codes all the way through. You have to clone the repository, of course, and then click or type in .NET.build. And after that, it is going to install. And you can run already here the Wasabi wallet. This is it. So as you can see, although this is beta, this is a quite easy install, actually. I did not have any problems installing it whatsoever. So Adam, it is already quite a easy build and quite an easy to use software. What else can be done to make this even more accessible to users?
So until the 1.2, we are not going to provide the releases. Well, download and click on the exe, or download and whatever Linux users do. Click on. Yeah, they don't have file extensions. Never mind. So yeah, download and click. That makes it much easier. A lot of people doesn't even know how to fire up the command line, and I think that's and we need the liquidity. So it's like anonymity is teamwork. You cannot be anonymous by yourself. So the more people are using it, the more anonymous you are. You have to hide in the crowd. Yeah. So the easier, the better. And the 1.2 will have the binaries, which just download and click.
Yes, and that is the user experience that will get better and better and better. And realize that this is early beta. But as soon as we will get the software running, you will see that it is actually quite useful. So Shinobius, maybe your thoughts on how to make the software user-friendly and accessible.
I mean, really, it's just getting through the beta process and getting like most of the any bugs ironed out so that you can just release a binary. And then, I mean, from that point on, I'm sure eventually like things can be integrated into the Linux repositories, so it won't be too complicated for Linux users, or just provide a simple deb package or whatever the equivalent is on other distributions. There's a few different ways that packages are handled depending on the Linux distribution. And then like Adam said, for Mac or Windows, it's just download the thing and click it. And I mean, once that's at that point, I mean, I will really be pushing this as a primary desktop wallet, because I mean, he has really covered all the bases. Like the entire Chaumian CoinJoin version that he created for this kind of solved like the one last issue with a CoinJoin that I would say existed in terms of privacy, and that the coordinator who's actually putting the CoinJoin together is still able to kind of figure out like what's going where at the end of it. But the way the Chaumian CoinJoin works, you kind of like have a blinded commitment to your output in the transaction, and then disconnect and reconnect through a different Tor circuit before actually giving the actual output. So even the server that's putting everything together doesn't know whose outputs are what. And then on the network level, I mean, like that was really the important thing that Adam put together. And like even before Neutrino, he was working on a solution where your wallet would kind of just start from the creation of the wallet and download blocks and just scan the whole block so that there was no central server that would see like what your balances are. And that would have been much more resource intensive, but the neutrino filters really like cut down the amount of nonsense you have to deal with. The wallet can figure out like specifically which blocks are relevant to you, so you don't have to just keep downloading the whole chain from whenever you start the wallet. And I mean, it's like really, it's like once this is out of beta, like this is going to be the only wallet I use, except maybe a full node on a desktop. Like it's covering all of the privacy bases from actually transacting on chain to just the network data leakage, which is really the killer thing to kind of handle.
Yeah, you know, I spent like half a year working on a Tor library to cover the Tor is an anonymity network, and I realized I have to be a very, very heavy Tor user, heavier than any other .NET developer were before. I mean, Tor user as a Tor developer user, not a end user. So I had to build my own Tor library, and that's what we are using for Wasabi. So that's nice too.
Yes, amazing. Okay, and you know, let's not waste any time. Let's actually get into this. So once you have installed the software, go to your repository and then wallet wasabi, and ultimately the wallet wasabi.gui. And then all that you have to press it or run the command is .ment.run. And as soon as you press that, in just a little bit, the Wasabi client will pop up after some more commands. And this is already it. So this is the first screen that you see. And you can generate a new wallet. So this is it. Heads up, pay attention. Precious Satoshis. We're not joking. Financial sovereignty, okay? Be careful. You cannot recover your wallet without your password. Therefore, we strongly advise you to use a password that you will not forget. Okay?
I strongly advise you to not forget your password.
Oh, absolutely. Forgetting your Bitcoin password might be not too good. So what type of password should be created here?
I mean,
so my philosophy is a bit different from other wallet developers on the password creation. Because I met a lot of cases when people forget their password. You know, I told them, hey, here's the Electrum wallet, download the wallet, and they forgot their password, and they couldn't log in anymore. And I never met any cases actually when someone got stolen like this. So I just let them specify any kind of password, and I'm not holding their hands. I'm not their father. Use a good password, but don't forget it. That's important too.
I mean, it's passwords are just something a user has to decide for themselves. I mean, like it's really like what kind of security trade-off do you make? Do you want something that you can 100% guarantee you're not going to forget? Like do a complex like, you know, alphanumeric combination that's not too long, or just like a short like 4 or 5 word mnemonic where there's no kind of theme of connection between the words? Or like if you want to go full crazy, just use a password manager and have like a 30 or 40 random character password. But it's like what trade-offs do you want to make in terms of the risk of losing it and the level of security?
What was the password example that Snowden gave? That like Ben Bernanke is 110% sexy or something like that, makes for a password that's very secure, but it's also very easy to remember because it's like a joke or form of hyperbole. I've always liked that example.
Yeah, and I like the idea of writing down your mnemonic seed and writing a little poem out of it, and maybe memorizing it that way. So have fun with it.
So I can give actually a good way to use different password everywhere without using any password manager. Think about something you really like and choose a couple of letters from it. And then choose a couple of numbers and then something like at or percentage or whatever. And then figure out an algorithm from the first two letter or the last two letter of the service that you get your last two password characters back. So you will always have a different password and you don't have to use any password manager. And it's pretty good. I am using it for 10 years and there were a couple of times when a service changed their name and I couldn't log in back, but then I realized, oh, they just changed their name and I have to get my password back from the old service name. So this is an interesting way to keep it in your mind.
I mean, I'm just going to repeat myself. It's whatever trade-offs you're willing to make and whatever works best for your memory. Like everybody's memory works differently.
Exactly. So without further ado, we're going to create a wallet name. So with this wallet name, we can easily recognize what this wallet is. So this is going to be Wasabi Awesome, because it is. And the password, let's use just. Can you see this? Oh no, you cannot.
You don't empty string. You can use empty string as your password actually.
Oh, empty string. Okay, perfect. And of course, here it says, and that would be my first question, that I agree to the terms and conditions, the privacy policy, and the legal issue documents. I don't want to read a 100,000 page document that is made by Apple and that I will have to click on every time, of course. So what is this about? Is this just another of these nonsensical legal terms, or is this really something valuable and that teaches you something?
This is just as bad, I have to say. The reason behind this is that so things like that, you cannot use it for money laundering, you cannot use it for bank card fraud and things like that. But so we created a company and the company's goal is to protect the user's privacy, right? So we have to cover our S in every different direction legally because I'm not sure that you know it, but some governments doesn't really like people who like their privacy, So yeah, some governments wants to know much more about you, and that's why we have to cover our S from every legal direction.
Yes, that actually makes a lot of sense, and of course we want to be as secure as possible. And this is a legal contract, so to say, to just be like, okay, be careful, right? This is software. This is something that is as is. It is. We cannot really guarantee that it's bug free or anything like that. So for now, let's agree for this, and let's simply generate that wallet. Oh, passwords do not match. Well. Let's do really difficult password here.
No, I don't know what happened actually.
You just typed ass, didn't you?
Well, who knows?
That was actually a bug.
Oh, really? Yes, we found one.
Bug. So it looks like when you type a password and you delete it, something strange happens. I
Maybe
better
just an
take
escape
notes.
character or something.
Okay, so no, I don't think there was a space character in there. But good that we found something. Let's continue to improve this. That's why it's beta. And you know, your wallet was generated successfully. That is amazing. Write down these mnemonic words. Of course we will. What I see is that there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So why are there 13 words, and why not 24?
It's the same, you know. You know, security that's not used is not really secure, if you know what I mean. So most of the people are not going to write down 24 words, but they might write down 12. Are you going to write these 12 words down now?
I'm already done with that.
Good.
I mean, realistically speaking, 12 words is enough entropy as long as you're not re-entering them in a compromised system. Like if I remember correctly, part of the reason for 24 was just to kind of give that extra entropy for things like hardware wallets where you're kind of entering them in scrambled order just so there's that extra search space if somebody got that and tried to brute force it in the right order.
I mean, to be honest, I'm happy to change it to 24, but I yet to see anything that says cryptographically 12 words is unsecure or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
I'm not going to just make something harder in order to I don't know, be more
to virtue signal your security prowess.
Well, and right, you know, 12 words are enough from a cryptographic standpoint. And honestly, use something like this. You know, have just a printout, explain what Bitcoin is, tell where you can get an address, and have the 24 words lined up there. And you know, this is what I carry in my bag all the time, just to hand out to people and just to show them. Super easy to keep. And if you want to set up just a random wallet, this is the perfect thing to do it with. And then it's only 12 words. Come on. This is financial sovereignty. Sit your ass down and write down 12 English words. It's not too hard. Come on.
It is actually. For me, I was traveling in the past 2-3 years, and you know, I cannot write it down. I had to find other ways to store it because my bag can be stolen at any time, anywhere. You know.
I think you're a bit of a unique case as a digital nomad, though.
Exactly, but that is exactly what makes Bitcoin possible, right? So that's beautiful. Okay, so we have absolutely backed up. Okay, sorry, no, this is actually something that we should talk about. That you can recover your wallet on any computer with with your mnemonic seed and your password. So it says here that unlike most other wallets, if an attacker acquires your mnemonic words, it will not be able to hack your wallet without knowing your password. However, unlike other wallets, you will not be able to recover your wallet only with your mnemonic words if you lose your password. So this sounds really, really interesting because it looks like that now you will have to log in with the password that we created initially, which in this case was AS, to always use this wallet. But
yes. So this is another reason why I'm not that afraid to use the 12 one, because with mnemonic words you cannot do anything.
Okay, so yeah, so this is fantastic, right? This is already a second factor built into the first step already. And that is a great security feature and quite genius, actually. And I wonder why it hasn't been done before.
They are actually starting it. Electrum already implemented it. Actually, I'm not sure about other wallets, but yeah, they are. They might be using pins. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Yep. I mean, it's like it's just like, again, part of like the privacy aspect, like even down to just backing up the seeds. Like you have that one extra layer where the lady cleaning the hotel room gets your seed, and well, hey, if you have another copy of it, like she's shit out of luck.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I thought every wallet is doing like this, and I was emailing myself the mnemonic words because I thought they are secure without knowing my password. And half a year later, it was a long time ago actually. Half a year later, I realized that with just only the mnemonic words, they can get my wallet. So yeah, from there on, I encrypt the mnemonic words.
My first wallet, I just set up the Shieldlock wallet on a tablet and sent coins there, and then left it air gapped in a corner for 3 months before I had the balls to turn the Wi-Fi back on.
Well, we all have these stories of early times of using Bitcoin, and it's most often a bumpy journey. So good to get educated and good to keep moving forward in this journey of user experience and making this more accessible and more secure. So this is already fantastic. We haven't even started yet, guys, and we already had the first security mindfuck. That is great. Okay, so we say that we have backed up these mnemonic words, and that's it. We have now generated a wallet. And what we have here is a inventory of all the possible wallets that we can create. Amazing, right? So all right here, you have a setup of unique 12 words here. So unique mnemonic seeds that you can back up uniquely, and you can label them easily and see them all in one place. This is fantastic. It also directly links to your open wallet folder, where we now have the Wasabi awesome.json wallet file. So that's great. And the question would be for what use cases would be different wallets? Why would you want to have different wallets and not just one?
Well, privacy segregation. Mm-hmm.
To be fair, you don't need different wallets in a Wasabi wallet because, well, you're not going to see it later, but the coins are separated and labeled, so you will be able to segregate to make educated decisions which coins to spend together and which coins to never spend together at any circumstances. However, we somehow ended up nailing an awesome, wallet loading, wallet generating, and an awesome layout that makes it very simple to handle a lot of wallets. And yeah, that's why we decided to enable to have many wallets. I think it's still a useful feature.
It's a lot smoother than something like Electrum.
Testnet wallet, for example, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a smooth experience. I mean, just like nitpicky things like with Electrum, like it's always irritated me that you have to like go open like another wallet and have a whole nother window open to manage different wallets. Like it's just convenient. You can just do the whole thing in one window.
Exactly, yes, and this will be a recurring theme of labeling stuff because we really want to take care of what is which UTXO, especially when we want to be privacy focused. So this is already really good. And by the way, I just want to point out that this Bitcoin address right here and this QR code goes directly to Adam. So this will support him, not just in the countless hours and countless months and years of his life that he's dedicated to this project, but also in further development. So if you want to have more open source software like this, contribute, do what you can. And if this is sending a couple Bitcoin, then that is amazing. So thank you very much. And now let's load up this wallet here, which we've just created, and it is loading. Gears turning. What is happening now is that out of this one mnemonic seed, through a hierarchical deterministic wallet structure, several, as a matter of fact, billions of private keys can be generated that are all linked to this one mnemonic seed that we have. And it's set up in such a tree structure that we can have several different branches. So what we have here, of course, is the receive tab. So that's where you can get your first Bitcoin. And again, you cannot generate the address now. You first have to label it.
I can send you some money, and the first person who hacks it gets it. Just a small.
Ooh, now things are getting spicy.
Oh, that is really good. That is really good. Okay. So then let's label this. We already said that Wasabi is amazing. Let's say WCN is amazing. Okay, that is going to be the donation fund for you guys. So whoever will get this this label, sorry, whoever will use this mnemonic seed first, will then get a few Satoshi, and you might send a few Satoshi back to Adam because he's such a nice guy. So let's now generate this receive address. And guess what? Already it's back 32. Look at this. Native SegWit already enabled as a standard, as the standard. Guys, this is amazing. So why back 32? And why labeling, Adam?
Yeah, so there are a couple of reasons for this. For one, we have to use a segregated witness because of the coin join. So otherwise, the coin joins would be very slow because you would always have to wait for confirming if you want to register the change output to the next coin join, which might be a little bit complicated. The point is we need segregated witness for coin joins to make a smooth, fast experience. So everyone has to put segregated witness addresses in. Now, there are two segregated witness address. One is the ROP segwit, the old school. Those are starting with 3. These are actually fake segwit addresses. These are segregated witness addresses wrapped into pay-to-script hash. Those happen to every wallet be able to handle it, every old wallet. However, we decided on batch 32 only because there is a small hack that you have great privacy problems if you are not running a full node, except if you are running a neutrino, BIP 158, BIP 159. If you are running that kind of thing, which was implemented by us, but it was implemented by other people too, and they had a 1 gigabyte filter, which is a lot of data to download to synchronize. But we realized if we only concentrate on the batch 32 addresses, then our filters will be small, a couple of megabytes. So, and we can only start from where the segregated witness activated in a couple of years back then, until we figure out or technology catches up that. So right now we can have a smooth light wallet experience because we are only using batch 32 addresses. That's the short version. Yeah, that's it.
Shinobi, go ahead. This is amazing. Back 32 all the way. Hell yeah.
I love this. I love how technical it gets. I think that one of the things that is really, really clear from listening to you talk about this is people ask me all the time, what do I study at university to become a Bitcoin core programmer or developer in some way that can expand the circle of trustlessness and add to privacy and stuff? And really my answer is that you have to be an autodidact. You have to use autodidactism and self-learning to be willing to study things that are cutting edge fintech to an extent that you might as well just start going down the path on your own. Getting the fundamental information that you can about computer science is great, but you're going to need to do so much study beyond your base education that that becomes a bigger hurdle than learning what you need to learn in university. And I think that Adam has been really humble about the level of Renaissance man polymath he required to learn all of the things he's had to learn to be able to work on all this stuff. So my hat is off to you, Adam. I mean, this is mind-blowingly complex in ways that are really valuable to the future.
You know, I was very lucky. I sent an email to Nicolas Dorier and I flew to Japan and I was learning from him for months Bitcoin development in C#, and so I was very lucky. Actually, this is a great way to learn not only Bitcoin but anything. Find someone who you respect and would like to learn from him and offer your help, and things might happen.
Definitely. And people are like, I want to learn programming, and they don't understand that saying learning programming is similar to saying I want to learn mathematics. Mathematics is a hyper massive multivariable study of all kinds of different specializations and things. And if you're going to learn programming and you want to be one of the best programmers, you have to be able to master logic and reason, and then be able to teach a machine to reason in ways that are going to require constant education and constant research. And I think that Adam and what he's been talking about so far during the stream is a fantastic illustration of that requirement.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, guys. I just realized my mic was open while I was trying to hack the wallet.
I was like, what are you doing, buddy?
Send me the address.
But whatchamacallit? I mean, yeah, it's like something especially when dealing with Bitcoin and people's money. I mean, you really have to cover all of your bases and like cover all of the angles, because like you're talking about people's money here. And like, you know, I've known Adam for like a year or two now, and like talked with him quite a lot while he was like really developing like the entire architecture of this wallet and like thinking through the problems. And like I can say firsthand, like he has been seriously thinking the shit through from every angle possible the whole way. And like looking at Wasabi right now, like I am very happy about what has come out of that process.
It already looks absolutely fabulous, and you know, just playing around with it a little bit, just a little bit, and I'm blown away. Honestly, this is another of these fantastic projects that really deserve a lot of praise. So thank you, Adam, for dedicating a lot of work into this.
Well, you're welcome. It's a fun ride, actually. Being a Bitcoin developer is much more fun than being a MP3 player developer. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but you know, that's what it's all about. Just hacking along, just learning, and you know, growing your experience and growing your knowledge base, and then trying to understand all this stuff. And you can only truly, you know, achieve wisdom when you go out and act, when you go out and do something with this understood knowledge. And this means that you have to, well, in Bitcoin, code something up, and that's what you did. So I do think that this software, this piece of software that we see here, is the culmination of years of dedicated research and study, and it shows. It clearly shows that this is not a shitty project that has just been coded up over the weekend. And guess what? No ICO.
No ICO.
Okay, let's maybe then further get into it now that we have. Oh no, okay. So we already have Now, in the history, let me see. Let me get back there. Here, we have already gotten one transaction. So what we see here is the date, of course, with the time, a demand of Bitcoin. So that's 4 zeros and then a 221. And we see the transaction ID. What I might say here is that it does not show the labeling of the transaction or of the address that we have created. So this might be nice to see in the history here as well. So can we see more detailed versions or more detailed interface of this transaction?
Yes. So the history, go to the send. The history, the labels are actually wallet clustering. So the labels, actually the history, you can see the history of the coin, and that's what really matters when you send the things. Yeah, I could have done history labels, and I was doing that. It just got really complicated at the end, because there are coin joins, and labels just become very, very strange, and I said I don't have time for that. What really matters is when you click on the send, you see the coin list. Well, you only have one coin now, but this is when the labels matter. When there is the history, they are actually combined. If you try to send some to yourself, then you're going to see that the history is actually a small intra wallet blockchain analysis, so clustering, and what you have to see there is to don't join together coins, those labels, those histories. You don't want them to cross each other. Yeah, that's the important thing.
And like, really, my personal favorite thing about the user interface isn't just the labels, which is nice because you can actually see all of your transactions that coins were involved in, but it's the anonymity set shield. So like, can you pop that up there, Max?
Pressing on the shield here, yeah, I only get this anonymity set 1. So what does this anonymity set 1 mean?
Well, do you want to take it no further?
It means how private you are, how private that coin is. For example, if you are coin joining, then you are joining together with multiple people. That's how you grow your anonymity set. And the shield is a very colorful way to show that how many people can have that coin except you. Yeah.
And so why does this? Why is this anonymity set 1? And how could I achieve more units of this anonymity set?
It is 1 because there were no mixing involved. There were no Bitcoin mixing involved. So there is only one person who can have that coin at this moment.
Okay, and then the more people would have participated in the coin join transaction, the more N users, the higher this anonymity set N.
Yes, actually, it's even if I would send it to you through to join market, then you would see your anonymity set. It's not perfect then, but you would see that you have more than one. Yeah.
Shinobi, you want to jump in?
Yeah, it's just like This is kind of like what I like about this so much in terms of just the whole user interface and experience. Like, it is literally crafted in every single way to put all of the information like necessary to make you aware of coin linkages, of the level of privacy, and to always have that like right at the front of your mind when you're transacting, when you're selecting coins. Like, a lot of wallets will just have like a balance, and like the primary way you'll see your coins is just like the net balance of all outputs, where with Wasabi, like the only way you see your wallet is the individual outputs. Like, the first thing when you look at it is you are not thinking in terms of the entire wallet balance. It's these individual coins, like what the anonymity set is for each of these coins, like in the labels, the history of all of those coins based on the labels, because they'll extend. Like, if you make a transaction, you'll label it, and then if you make another one with that coin later, it'll add that label onto the end. So like you can look back and see which coins have been connected to each other in the past. And it's just like every little thing about how the information is presented to the user is first and foremost designed to make them fully aware of all of the levels of privacy when they're making their choice about what to transact with, or like how to actually use their coins.
This might sound complicated, but it is actually really easy. The main takeaways to Bitcoin, even if you don't use Wasabi Wallet, you have to understand the coin concept. Electrum has a coin control feature. Bitcoin Core has a coin control feature. It's a very easy concept, because if you get some money from someone, that's a coin. Okay, if you send money to someone, that will generate some change, and that will be another coin. Another very interesting thing what I figured out is that we could completely change the user experience with these coins, actually. Imagine a Bitcoin wallet where it's just a big nothing, a big bubble, and then there are some bubbles as you receive the coins, and those coins are the bubbles, and that's how you would, yeah, it might sound a bit futuristic, but you would move those coins actually physically on the screen to the other end, and that's how you would transact with Bitcoin, which would be really fun. I would love to work on it, but first thing first. Not sure how much went through it, actually, of this vision.
Well, but this is actually really nice to clearly and specifically select which coins to use, and this, as you say, fundamentally changes the user experience, because I literally have to click this button before I can proceed with with the amount of money that I want to send. But what I also realize here is that I do not see if this transaction is confirmed already, and how many confirmations it has. So where could I see this?
Yeah, you actually see that after it confirms, because we show the confirmation with a green tick next to the blue tick. Yeah, there will be a nice green tick, and that will show that, hey, it confirmed. But right now you cannot see anything because it didn't confirm.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe here a little icon just to signalize that it is unconfirmed might be nice, or just leave it. But user interface, right? They'll approve.
Yeah, there are some user interface not issues, just uncomfortable things like this, what you just said. We are actually aware of it and on our to-do list to fix it, but we realized the user interface doesn't work on OS X, and we have to rewrite the whole user interface library backend for OS X first. So our UX guy is occupied by that. Well, I think it's a great UX. Just there are a couple of small things like this that you cannot see if it's unconfirmed. Well, you can see actually if you use the wallet more than once, then you would see right away. But in the first use, you don't indeed.
Oh, very true. I just really have to nitpick to find even some flaws in this amazing software. So maybe let's get more into this tab right here, which is CoinJoin. So what is this fundamentally all about? And how can you use it in this user interface and in the setup?
So again, the confirmation issue. As you can see, you don't see any coins in the CoinJoin coins tab.
Oh, perfect. Speaking of the devil, there it is. There's the tick, which signals it is confirmed now. And now we have it here in the CoinJoin box.
Yes. So, well, I would love to see you figure out by yourself, actually.
Well, on the spot.
Well, I would
user research,
security researching.
Exactly.
No one steal it yet. No one steal the coin yet.
Well, if there would be several UTXOs to spend here, I would check these which I would want to link, or which I would want to use in this CoinJoin. And I hope that the total amount would sum up, so that I know the amount that I'm going to spend, and I would have to enter the password here ultimately. Thank you. And these coins are now being CoinJoined, which is a nice user interface. The minimum status here required for this CoinJoin was okay. Now, so it says that there's a minimum fee for these CoinJoins, and I do not have that in this wallet. So does this mean that I cannot use CoinJoin with this minimal of an amount?
Yes. That means exactly because we are going with round denominations, and that is the round denomination, that's 0.05 right now. So we have a system figured out, but we need some research for what is the best way to mix people's input, and it's called mixing unequal inputs, and that's what we are going to use. And with that, you can mix any amount, so that will fix it. But for now, we are working on this, and no one have time to work on that research thing. But yeah, so it's not like an unsolvable problem. It's a very easily solvable problem, just a lot of work must be done.
Okay.
What are you waiting for, Adam? Get to it.
What a lazy bones. Come on, lazy bones. Let's just do it. Come
Yeah, I told you about this UX stuff, the bubble and things, and mixing unequal input. There are so many things I would like to do. Yeah, you can't do everything.
Right, absolutely. And so what it further says here is that there is a coordination fee or coordinator fee of 0.003% per anonymity set. So question would be, why is this being paid, and who is this coordinator that gets this fee?
It's the mixing coordinator which we run, so that's what we get. Actually, we don't get anything now because under $3 we don't take any fees. I mean, $3 for the whole run for everyone, and it turns out for this small amount of people, it the whole round fee is not going to reach $3. So right now it's completely free. There is not even the fee, although it says it's there, but until there is this small amount of user, there is no fee.
Okay, and so could other people become this coordinator?
Yeah, anyone could. I mean, it's not that easy to get the users, but sure, anyone could.
That's like, that's one thing. Like, I mean, it would be nice to have some other coordinators, but at the same time, it's not a good idea to really just have a shit ton of them trying to run out there, because the whole value of like some mixing like this is to have a decent amount of users using like a coordinator to provide that anonymity set. And so if you have too many people like trying to be a coordinator out there, it'll kind of fragment the anonymity set that you would gain in mixing your coins. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We have a question in chat from Beauty Bubble. She wants to know if people can donate to the coordinator fees. Is that something that could be done, or does that make sense?
What do you mean, Beauty? Like pay like a higher fee than is being asked by the coordinator?
He wants to donate the coordinator fee. So I think, for example, he wants to select Andreas Antonopoulos and he wants to pay the fee to him. It's not going to happen because the fee that you would pay for that round would be higher, would be lower than the cost of that output. Okay, so
okay, real quick.
So it's other people would have to contribute to you to pay your coordinator fee for someone else. Yeah, that's...
I think what she means is like, can you like voluntarily pay more than like the fee the coordinator is asking for? Kind of like to donate to the person who's running the coordinator.
Oh, no, that would ruin the anonymity set. Would it? I don't know. It might. Okay, it might mess with. Well, it might actually mess in the right direction. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. You can't right now. You can't, but it's actually not a bad question.
And that's one of the reasons that it's so great to have these early on panels and discussions, because when you're working with programming something, everybody thinks that programming is just typing something out all at once. But really what it is it's thinking about things critically. And then what you have to do is get your left brain and right brain to communicate. Your left brain is good at tactile, or not tactile, but like small micro in order things. Your right brain is better at creative mapping. And when you explain things to other people, what happens is your information crosses the corpus callosum, or the bundle of nerves that your hemispheres talk to each other with, and your left brain goes right brain, because you have to say, all right, what is somebody else's understanding set going to be? Let me translate what my left brain knows into the conceptual centers of my right brain, explain it to them, and then I'll think about what can we do and why can we do it. And questions like, can we donate fees to the coordinator, are extremely good to ask, because it gets people not only thinking about can that be done, but how can we articulate to other people why it can or can't be done. And then it allows us to conceptualize a whole bunch of different development pathways and to figure out what's good to prioritize and how we go about things. So fantastic question. And again, this is all going on so early that it's great to have these questions and to think about them and to have people paying attention in delivering input. It's one of the reasons that pair programming is so valuable in computer science.
Well, what is this, like neurology class at medical school?
Well, it's important to understand how the brain works and why the brain works when we're trying to invent things that have never been done before, when we're trying to articulate how to teach a computer things that we're still mulling over in our own heads. So, I mean, it's all coming together at a rapid breakneck pace of how do we teach computers to reason in terms of things that we don't even fully understand, that are so complex that it requires a group of experts to all independently come up with things. And how do we, scoop off our cognition into the machines? And for that reason, I love these types of early on group chat discussions where we can talk about this type of thing, because again, it's not just one person hammering something out on a computer. It's, reaching consensus before we program consensus.
Oh, absolutely. And that is something that you really experience when talking to thousands of people about Bitcoin or about any topic, that sooner or later, really interesting questions will come up. And these questions will not just be thought-provoking for the student because he's asking them, but these questions will also challenge you as a quote-unquote teacher, as someone who is trying to explain all these questions. That is something that becomes more intuitive every time you answer these questions. And sooner or later, you will have an answer to all these questions. But nevertheless, there will always be, all these questions will be ever so slightly different, ever so slightly nuanced. And it might just be that little nuance that will bring you onto a further way of not just falling down the rabbit hole, but actually digging it even deeper.
Blake, turn down the weaponized autism knob. I was just shit posting with my mouth.
No way. The weaponized autism knob makes it so that when people troll you, it's funny, but at the same time, you have to come up with these, thought processes, or maybe they're just rationalizations, but it really helps the conversation move forward. Like a market that never went up or down wouldn't be very valuable. So having the getting shit from your peers is another great way to spark conversation and to tell jokes and to try to lampoon different ideas. And then sometimes when you're trying to lampoon or make fun of an idea, you come up with a great idea. You realize that's not maybe ridiculous, but that's brilliant. So I welcome it, man. I'm not turning it off.
Why was this a really good question? Because this hits into the heart of the issue of the denomination. So how can we have a more effective mix? Like he said, he would like to donate with the mix, which has some characteristics, how to create the outputs. And we never thought about, we always took the simplest mix, that we have a denomination and have some change outputs for people. But there are a lot of things we can do with it. The issue was, I think, that everyone, including me, was waiting for confidential transactions to come. But now it might be more practical to figure out a very optimal, what is the best mix combination that results in the biggest anonymity set with the smallest cost. So now we can think about this kind of issues, because now we have Wasabi. But so far we were just waiting for confidential transactions which are hiding the amounts. So that just solves kind of everything, Yeah.
And that is something that has always really fascinated me, is that it turns out that we might not necessarily have to do protocol upgrades, consensus critical upgrades on chain to increase Bitcoin anonymity, but we can use software like Wasabi Wallet to just use Bitcoin in a really efficient way, and as Bitcoin already is, and just tweak it a little bit to provide even this additional step of anonymity. So maybe the question would then be, how much anonymity can we reach without changing a lot of the blockchain consensus?
I think a lot. I mean, what Nopar is doing here with the Xiaomi and CoinJoin fixed like the last network leak aspect of a CoinJoin. I mean, the idea out of the workshop he was at for pay to endpoint confuses chain analysis even more. Lightning is going to add even more confusion. And that's not even getting into hybridizing Lightning channel opening and closing with CoinJoin as well. And then to really put the cherry on top, if you start plugging Xiaomi and eCash servers on top of all of this, I mean, chain analysis won't know their head from their ass in 5 years. Sorry, I just kind of.
I'm waiting for you to continue the discussion. Blake, what do you say about that? Right there, I think you're.
Beavis, what were we talking about?
But we were talking about the difference between scaling or making sure that Bitcoin is more secure, not just on a protocol rule change on chain, but especially how we could integrate stuff like a good user interface and high coin chain transactions, such as Wasabi wallets, and maybe even further interlinking that with stuff like Lightning. So how do you
I mean, it's great. I think a great way of thinking about it is we need to expand the circle of trustlessness. So like you can get down to a really, really, really fundamental level of understanding rights, the difference between negative and positive, and expanding the circle of trustlessness from negative rights are really easy to secure. Negative rights just oblige inaction on the part of others. If they leave you alone, negative rights are great. But once you have positive rights, they need to be grounded in contract law. Contract law has to be upheld by the government. The government sucks at a lot of things. So then we have Bitcoin. Bitcoin guarantees the positive right of settlement on a global jurisdiction. That's great. That's a great way of expanding a circle of trustlessness from rights into computers. And then when you have Bitcoin going on, you don't just want the right of settlement, you want privacy. You want to expand the circle of trustlessness. So having technologies like this layered out in a bottom-up fashion so that we can basically apply the OSI model for the TCP/IP protocol layering to Bitcoin, and then we can have sleek, good, easy-to-use interfaces that allow the common person to be able to have access to these types of things. It's really aggressively making the world a better place. It's like Louis C.K. has this comedy thing where he's talking about, like, unless you're out aggressively helping people, which you're fucking not, like, people that are engaged in projects like this really are aggressively helping people in ways that are scalable and that people can appreciate all over the world. So I think a great way of looking at this stuff is how do we expand the circle of trustlessness? And in terms of security and privacy, that's a great way of enhancing people's security, or it's a great way of enhancing people's relationship with the technology, because again, security is not just something that you can do on your own. Making it easy for people to have access to secure actions relating to their code makes it easier for other people to be secure as well. You need to have two parties that are acting securely to be able to be anonymous, and it's not something that can be done in a vacuum. So projects like this, from bottom-up development, are extremely important. Everything should be layered from a base layer up, and I think that we've had a lot of failed experiments with top-down collectivism. So that's my rant about that.
Absolutely, guys, and as Blake said, this is a grassroots movement. This is a bottom-up approach, and if you want to support this amazing project, just like Beauty Buddy said here in the chat, is that thank you so much, Nopara. I love your work, seriously, and the layer that Nopara is really a hero, and absolutely true. So if you want to support him, here is his Bitcoin donation address, and it goes directly into funding more of this and paying a bunch of costs that have already occurred with this. So maybe to continue with the attributes of this CoinJoin. So there's here a round ID number 6. What does this mean?
Nothing special, really. Okay, that's not a good answer. It just means it's the 6th round since the server was restarted. So yeah.
Okay, but how often does the server restart, and why?
Well, that depends on how often I am updating it. So 6th round, yeah, I updated it a couple of days ago.
Okay, and what is then further here the number of registered peers, where we have currently 11 out of 12?
It means action is very close.
All right, come on, somebody out there, boot your shit up. I had to wipe my computer like last week, so I don't have it set up right now. Come on, do it. Somebody else, get on.
I'm registered too.
And
on,
this
I
means
know-
as soon as you have here 0.05 Bitcoin that you put into this coin join by selecting the coin here, typing in your password here, and NQ, then we would be the 12th person right here.
Yes, and that would mean the mixing starts.
Okay.
There is one person out there who has this installed. Do it. Do it right now. Right now.
Do it.
Maybe I can send you the last coin join actually, and you can show it. How does it look like on a blockchain? Since we are.
Can you share the screen to this?
I just put it to.
Especially because you are in this coin join transaction, I would really want to see how this looks more from an advanced usage.
How do you know I am in that coin join?
I thought you said you were.
I'm in this coin join, yes, but I'm not in the coin join I sent to you just right now in the chat on Google.
Or are you?
Oh, we never know. We never know. So let's. What do we have here? Yeah. So right here, download Chrome. Okay. So this right here is. No wait. This is the Bitcoin trans.
Yes. Sorry about that. Yes.
Okay. So still waiting for the 12th user.
Do it. Just do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
I sent
Even if it means sacrificing everything.
this is the good one, I think.
Come on, Kaepernick, coin join it for us.
If you like CoinJoin, just do it. Even if mama thinks it's the devil.
Maybe to further, while we were waiting here, to further explore the user interface, what we have down here at the bottom is that it says Tor running. So what is that all about?
That it comes with a built-in Tor. So your communication with various services on the internet happens over Tor. That's it.
And do you have to have Tor installed before you install the Wasabi wallet?
No.
Perfect. So actually, when users install the super secure wallet, you kind of sneak in a Tor browser, which is nice.
Yes, just the Tor daemon, not the browser. But actually, it's even better if you don't have Tor, because there are some Linux distributions out there which are shipping with very old Tor version, and that might result in some strange things if your Tor that's already running is very old. You don't want to risk those privacy. You don't want to mess around with Tor. Yeah.
So having a legacy version of all the Tor stuff on your computer already might mess with the daemon install.
Yes. So if you are running Tor, then we are going to use that Tor instance. But if you are not running Tor, then we are going to use the Tor what we ship with. So you can use your own Tor.
And what type of communication is being sent here over Tor, and how is it encrypted, and why is this more secure than not using Tor?
For example, if you are doing the coin join, and then you are registering your inputs over Tor circuit. But then you are registering your outputs where you want to receive the money from the coin join. Then you have to change Tor circuit first. And of course, this happens under the hood, so you don't know actually anything about it. But you have to change Tor circuit first, and then you send your outputs where you want to receive the money from the coin join. Yeah. So that's a Tor communication. That's an example. Almost the most. Or for example, when you're broadcasting transactions, just imagine every Bitcoin wallet you are broadcasting transactions not over Tor. Your privacy is it's so crazy. People are not even thinking about it. But yeah, if you're not using Tor for other Bitcoin wallets, then you just expose your privacy. Yeah, it's really crazy. You expose that is your transaction coming from your IP address. Yeah.
So in terms of tainting coins, ISPs that are sniffing your packets would be able to have a very huge advantage in terms of associating specific IPs with specific wallet activity. And then also the IP that they have you registered as has your billing information. So yeah, that does sound like a very, very material risk vector in terms of if you are not running your node using specific private routing or some type of security. I actually hadn't thought about that very hard before you said it.
Mm-hmm.
Privacy is like security. Always the weakest point is what they are going to use. So if you have a weak point in privacy, then it doesn't matter how great coin join, Bitcoin mixing, Monero transactions you do. If one thing fails, then there goes your privacy too, just like your security.
Mother of God.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is why like network level security is like so important. And I mean, it's why Nopara spent so much time like thinking through that aspect of things. Like if you fuck that up, everything you're doing on chain is pointless. And I mean, like even Bitcoin core developers are really starting to look at that right now. Like BIP 151 to end-to-end encrypt the peer-to-peer layer between nodes is under heavy discussion right now. Like there's a lot of work going on in Dandelion to kind of stagger the broadcast of transactions and obscure which specific node it's coming from. I mean, that's really a huge aspect of privacy. Like it's like imagine, I don't know, like you have like an underground tunnel and a big maze to like sneak through going place to place, but the ceiling is transparent glass that everybody can see through. Like what point is the tunnel system if everybody can see the whole system? You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. And now what we see here is that the number of registered peers, we made it 12 of 12. So what is happening now?
Now a coin join is happened already. And since you were not participating in that coin join, you don't know anything about it.
That's a sign that it's working. That's good. But sorry for the viewers.
I send you the transaction ID because I was participating in it.
I knew it.
We have a couple of questions from chat. Are a certain number of participants required prior to initialization of the coin join? And which is the best for coin join? Join Market, Wasabi Wallet, or Samurai Whirlpool?
Join Market, Wasabi Wallet, or Samurai Whirlpool? All right, so Samurai Whirlpool, I don't know much about it because they didn't publish information yet. just a tweet. However, it is ZeroLink based too, so I can imagine it's just as good as Wasabi Wallet, except the network level stuff, because on mobile it's pretty damn hard to get it right, and they are using their own API, which yeah. I don't want to get into it a lot. Join market and Wasabi, I think the difference between that is what's very important. As you can see in Wasabi, you are mixing with the coin join tab and sending with the send tab. Now the send is a normal send. However, in join market, you don't have to wait for other people, right? So the point is that that's quick, but you cannot have huge anonymity sets. For example, Wasabi, we are aiming for 100. We want to set the number of registered peers, the required registered peers, to 100, so 100 people comes together. But in join market, you cannot reach huge numbers with that, because as a taker, you are paying the whole transaction and a small fee for every transaction maker, coin join maker. The point is that with coin join, you can use it very fast, but with smaller anonymity. However, it's still better better than centralized Bitcoin mixers, because you have verifiable privacy with join market, and you can't lose your money. And actually, we want to integrate join market to Wasabi for the send. So I want every send to be a join market transaction, and that would be a very nice feature in the future.
That would be amazing to implement several different mixing services into this one wallet. So as I understand it right here, you can kind of batch these coin joins, so that number one, you don't have as many on-chain transactions in general, right, for the entire ecosystem, because you can batch up several of them. But further, you have a higher number of participants in this coin join. And the more number of people who are in the set of a huge transaction, the better it is, right? Because the less likely it is that per random chance, someone guessing the correct address will decrease quite heavily. So maybe let's look into how this transaction now actually looked, this coin join transaction. So as we see, there were 19 Bitcoin inputs, and of course as outputs as well. And this is of course quite a lot, right? This is a lot of Bitcoin, and it's on mainnet. So question would be: is this already secure, and why are there already so many Bitcoin in this really new beta software?
So because there are changes, as you can see, there are 12 0.05 Bitcoin outputs, 12, and the rest is the change. So those are going back to people.
Okay, but what I would now also see is that there are, of course, only there are 12, transaction or 12 output addresses with the same denomination, but only 6 change addresses. So would this mean that in this anonymity set, there were not 12, but only 6 users using it?
No. It's a very interesting side effect that I didn't actually know, or maybe it only happens now because the anonymity set is not 100, so it's small. That, as you can see, for example, the first input, look at that first input, the amount is 0.05 something. It's almost exactly like the output, right? So it gets a perfect mix. What else do we have? There is another 0.05, yeah, 3 at the end. So these are perfect mixes. So these people who are giving these transactions are getting back a perfect mix, you know. That's why not that much change.
Yeah, so pretty much some of the people didn't need to get any change back. Only the people who sent like a lot more than the mix amount would getting change, right?
Yes. Well, not a lot more, a little bit more, but for a couple of satoshis, I make it even, you know. If it's under $1, I think that's what I don't know. I have a couple of edge cases covered very well, which is so hard to explain that I don't even remember exactly. But yeah, under a couple of satoshis, I make it even. Sometimes it even results that some people gets more money back from the mix than they put. It's really just a couple of satoshis, but it's interesting, yeah.
Okay, really nice. And of course, it's really nice to see that, or the size, first of all. Although 2.8 kilobytes might seem large, actually, because they are back32 addresses, this is almost nothing for such a huge, really huge transaction. So my question would be, like, how much money do you save? How many satoshis do you save? Because you're using back32 addresses?
60%, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, yes, but it's 32. Yeah, I think around 60% is the saving compared to the pay to public key hash, the normal one.
And this means now, because we enjoy a really subsidized fee market right now, and only have to pay 2 satoshis per byte, which is really, really cheap. That is amazing. So this entire transaction, denominated in US dollars, or maybe in satoshis, what was the fee for this entire transaction paid?
Oh, I don't know. Doesn't it say it? Oh, there is it. There is the fee, left side.
Oh, fee left. Okay, perfect. Let's see how much fiat that is. So that's really not too much. Four zeros and then 37 Bitcoin. So let's see. Oh, I should actually copy that. What is this website?
I'm gonna say less than $1.
30 cents. So let's see exactly. 0.3705. So right now we have paid like not even 30 cents for this CoinJoin transaction.
Yeah, I was really not expecting that the fees are going to be just this low at this time. It's really crazy. I kind of believed that fees are going to go really high, but now, I mean, the transaction I sent to you now and confirmed within our stream was 1 Satoshi per byte, which was something like that, but very small, like the minimum fee I could possibly pay. So yeah, fees are really, really low, surprisingly low. But
And especially if you use Bitcoin in its most up-to-date version, which is, of course, back32. So that is amazing. And with having Almost nothing. And guys, remember, and girls, remember that this is the fee paid by 12 participants combined, right? So you can divide that up by 12, and that means that each user is paying roughly 2 cents per fee per transaction. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous to receive such low fees or to receive such a high quality service of this mixing for 2 cents per user.
It looks like Octavius wants us to pull it up on the otx.me Explorer.
I would say let's enjoy these fees and mix as much as we can until the fees are so low.
Oh, this is absolutely what I'm going to do right after this recording.
Gonna have us a mixing party.
Okay, so can I steal the coins now?
Don't you do it.
Go ahead. Do you know the password?
Yeah, it's ass.
Yeah,
well,
really.
let's see
I don't
who
remember
gets it
the
out.
password. Did you put any password?
I did, yeah. S.
Oh, S. All right.
One other question that I would have down here, it says peers 8. So what is this about? Are these the peers that are connected to the CoinJoin, or is this something else?
Those are Bitcoin full nodes. You are connected to Bitcoin full nodes too.
Perfect. And why are there 8? And are there any attack vectors here? And how do I communicate with them? And are there any privacy losses?
It's just like Bitcoin full nodes communicate with each other. That's how you're communicating with them. You are downloading blocks from them, and you are yes, the memory pool. You are getting the unconfirmed transactions from them because and yeah, so you should not really believe them because they can lie to you, and this is a huge issue with every Bitcoin Lite wallet that you SPV wallets, at least, that you are getting unconfirmed transactions from Bitcoin nodes, and you have no way to make sure that's not a double spend. That's so be careful with unconfirmed transactions.
Always wise advice.
And then further the question would be, of course, I hope you're all running a Bitcoin full node right next to us. And how can I link the Wasabi wallet to my own Bitcoin full node?
You can't. Not yet, anyway.
It's not really it's not really necessary to, in my opinion, unless you want to really have that final guarantee that all the blocks you're getting are valid. At least it's not necessary from a privacy level, because with the neutrino filters, you're just grabbing whole blocks, and the privacy leak there is it would really take a lot of very coordinated network level attacks to really leak any privacy from that. I don't think that's ever going to be an issue.
From a privacy point of view, it's not necessary. From a validation point of view, it would be very good if I would let you connect to Bitcoin full nodes. However, during this podcast, I just said 3 features I want to implement in the future, and those are all privacy related. And I am not going to concentrate on not privacy related issues. So, Bitcoin Core has its compromises on other things. I have my compromises on other things. So I'm not compromising on privacy in any way. And there still are a lot of work on making privacy more convenient and cheaper, because the fees are not going to be like this. So there still is a lot of work on those things, and I am not going to work on things those are not directly privacy related for a while. That's my philosophy.
Okay, that is amazing. And you touched on it briefly, but maybe please go a bit further into depth. The difference between the bloom filters, which, as I understand, has been used in SPVs previously, and now this neutrino filter, and where the differences are and where they affect the privacy.
Yeah, so basically, they could use bloom filters, but they decided to use Golomb-Rice filters because they are half as big. But the main difference is that SPV wallets right now sending bloom filters to Bitcoin nodes, and based on those bloom filters, they are getting the data which those bloom filters to. The difference is the wallets in Neutrino client-side filtering, it has like 500 names actually. So I'm just gonna say Neutrino. What we are doing, it's incorrect. Never mind. So instead of sending the sending the filters, actually we are getting the filters, and we are filtering from the filters on the client side, on our side. And from the filters, we can figure out from the filters and from our addresses, we can figure out which specific blocks we are interested in. And then we just get full blocks. So basically a full node, the only thing a full node can see is that, hey, this random peer from here requested this random block, which is not much information. The whole point of this thing is to be able to know the state of our wallet, because in light clients, we cannot know the state of our wallet without compromising privacy, except in this new thing, in this Neutrino and Wasabi, like client-side filtering protocol. So that's really good.
So, like, just to like boil it down real simple. So, like with neutrino filters, like you get the filters from the node, and then get the whole blocks. And with a bloom filter, you would give the filter to the node, and then they would actually have like a range of addresses that could be yours and try to break that. Whereas with the neutrino filters, you have all of the addresses and aren't giving them to a node and just grab the blocks, right?
Yes, and that is of course fundamentally much more private and much more secure. So really interesting. Of course, what I've made a couple videos about this amazing hardware wallet, the cold card, right? So this is an amazing piece of hardware that keeps your private keys secure. And the question would be now next, can you use hardware wallets in general with Wasabi, and especially the cold card?
No, you can't. It's the same reason why you cannot use full nodes. We are concentrating on privacy, and adding new features require maintenance, and adding new non-privacy related features requires more maintenance in things that we are not concentrating on right now. In the future, everything is possible. For now, we have way too much things to do on privacy.
And this is one of the issues with software. One of the issues with software is the path that leads to vaporware or things not getting finished is what's known as scope creep or scope bloat, focusing on too many features and going off into multiple different directions. Prioritizing your business deliverables and agile iterative software development is absolutely what you want to do. So it's good to hear that instead of having so many of these projects promise the moon when if you are a computer scientist or a project manager that's managed development before, it's always good to hear what Adam is talking about instead of like, oh yeah, we're going to get all these stuff in our next release. And then they don't iterate. And then it's like, well, that's not really a shock to me.
I'm not selling well, huh?
Well, to get a little cold card plug in here, I think for that at least, it'll be a lot simpler because all you'll need to do is support like getting an unsigned transaction out of stuff. Although I think that wouldn't really work for the CoinJoin, but like the regular wallet.
Yeah, and one step at a time. And that's the thing. It's still in beta, guys. Yes, this is mind-blowing good software. Yes, this is amazing. But keep in mind, we're not even close to being finished. Absolutely, there are a bunch more stuff is coming. And Adam, we've talked about a lot of stuff. So what are some nice features that we maybe have not yet talked about?
I think we pretty much covered everything. Yeah. It has a nice Visual Studio-like UI for developers. It might say something.
I demand perfection now. Pump no para full of Red Bull and cocaine. You're not allowed to sleep. Code.
We need a dump truck full of cocaine ASAP.
For the 1.0, we really need a lot of users. So we really want 100 people to be in the mix because 100 seems like a number that's more than sufficient to be your anonymity set. So we will really need the community to get behind, and basically you just have to start using it, and then we can work on privacy more, because there is just no incentive in Bitcoin development for anyone to work on privacy. And it's not like you are starting a privacy altcoin, then there you go, your incentive to pump. But in Bitcoin development, no one's going to work on privacy because it's risky. So that was the idea of creating a company that works on privacy and makes it a normal thing and takes it out from not only darknet people need privacy, but so we should take out the privacy from the darknet and concentrate on our vision is to create a company that is working on privacy and get some income and could support the further development and research on privacy, because there is just no incentive other than creating a darknet mixer. Yeah, so it's a really interesting topic, I think.
I mean, in terms of different strategies for making the future better, you can put on, a black hood and go and smash people in the head with a bike lock, but that's probably not going to make a good version of the future. It's probably better to participate in ground up software development and to use the wallet and to CoinJoin and to help get things done that scale better than physically assaulting people that you disagree with politically.
And Octavius was asking about depositing coin joins to businesses like Coinbase. And about a week ago, I sent an output that had one hop in between a Wasabi join to my Coinbase account for my Shift card, and it confirmed like normal. They didn't do anything, like nothing got frozen. I didn't get any emails about it. So mileage may vary though.
So they don't handle it. Actually, we are very paranoid on a privacy thing, but in reality, for example, yeah, you don't know what they handle and what they not, but what I hear from gossips are they cannot handle even one coin because that gives some ambiguity. And yeah, for example, join market transactions, they think that's lost if it goes into a join market transaction, even though it was only 2 participants, that's lost. So this is very interesting. From the other point of view, when I talk to there was a time I talked to a CEO of a big exchange, and they said they are running a know your customer service of one of the chain analysis, blockchain analysis company. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you doing that? It's not good for your business. He said because this is some legal protection, but they want this to be the weakest ever possible. So the more transaction they let go through, the better. But there is this, so they can tell regulators that they are doing this even though it doesn't do anything. You know what I mean? So you don't have to be worried. The other thing is that zkSNACKs is a legitimate company. The mixes we are creating we are going to fight to not make things automatically illegal, because there are legal bases to fight for privacy. Yeah.
I mean, like, not even just businesses, individuals. I mean, I'm still waiting for the first court case where some chain analysis company points at somebody and they're just dead wrong. Or, I mean, like, look at like over the last year or so, kidnappings or like ransoms for cryptocurrencies have been picking up. Like, I'm gonna obscure my coins, I'm gonna mix them, and if anybody comes knocking on my door about it, go fuck yourself. Like, that is me protecting myself from a very material, serious risk to my physical safety.
Oh yes, absolutely. And we've seen that repeatedly. And it can be as easy as swatting, where you just have to call the Fed, and they will take care of all the dirty work. And happen to Jameson Law. So this is something that is real. And be careful with your satoshis, and take good care of them, because they are quite precious. And this Wasabi Wallet is one tool that you can use. And what you see every now and then here is both here next to the fees and next to the mempool is a little bolt. So is that a teaser for a possible Lightning integration?
Actually, yeah, Lightning is something that that's not really privacy related, but that I think that's something that no wallet can avoid. So yes, that definitely is going to come at some point in the future. Yeah.
And what would you implement there?
Sorry?
Well, how could you use Lightning in this specific wallet setup? And of course, because a big part of this wallet is the coin join, how can you use Lightning Network in coin joins?
There are, Adam Gibson is talking about CoinJoin XT CoinJoin Unlimited and seems like that. CoinJoin Classic. And so there is a lot of thinking going into it. I haven't seen any research, but yeah, people are thinking how can we combine a Lightning Network with CoinJoin, because this would break a lot of Chainalysis assumptions, which would be really interesting. So, but even without any triggering like that, just simply opening Lightning channels with Wasabi coin joins is just so simple. So that's an obvious thing. But even without that, just simply having Lightning for a Bitcoin wallet, I think is something that a Bitcoin wallet must have, because we are not gonna see fees like this. We are living in dreamland right now, and fees are going to go up. It's just simple math, blockchains don't scale.
I love the maxim, during the down times, that's when the work is, whether it be in market down times or in down times during your life. Eric Thomas is a great speaker, and he talks about the downtime in your life. You're already hurting, get a reward for it. Don't sleep all day, do some work. And so I think that you're right. This is a magical retraction/consolidation movement in the price of Bitcoin and the amount of activity that's going on. So this is a beautiful time to be experimenting with CoinJoin and transactions and being able to do it cheaply. And I was saying in chat a little bit that my biggest fear is technologically empowered collectivist versions of the future. And, contributing to projects like this is the best way to have a material impact on technologically empowered individualism, on existentialism, on classical liberalism. So again, it's great to point your efforts towards things that can scale in perpetuity. And this is exactly the type of thing that you want to do. And this is exactly the type of time that you want to be doing it in. So it's a perfect storm, really, that we are lucky to be a part of, which people don't generally realize when they say, oh, it's a downtime or a downtrend or a bear market or a consolidation movement. That's when you have a fire lit under your ass and you get stuff done. So, props to Adam.
What else would you do with your time? Like, seriously, we are here talking about Bitcoin for like 2-3 hours now, and we're doing this like all day, all week for the last 5-6 years, whatever. And instead of going out and chasing girls, and just you should not waste your time, because you don't have that much, so you might better contribute something.
Yeah, time is the most precious resource that you have, with the most scarce resource that you'll ever have control over, which is the human individual. Individualism is not a cute saying. It is something that can help you contextualize your entire life, and the amount of time that you get is not ever going to be extended. Time is like poison. Time is not poison, but once you drink it all, you die. So don't waste your time.
So what you're saying is sell all your Bitcoin and buy a bunch of hookers and blow.
No, don't have time preference like that. You want to manage your time preference so that you have things to look forward to in the distant future. You can have a time preference set that you spend all your money right now, but that's going to make you extremely unhappy in the future, and that includes having kids and stuff too. So all of you on this panel, you got to pop out some kids so we can teach them our memes, because
Blake, we've been over this. I'm going to infect your genes with my memes, and you can deal with all them.
That sounds nasty. I'm calling the cops.
Well, so Blake, what you're advocating for is not cokes and hookers today, but cokes and hookers tomorrow.
Exactly. Save the cokes and hookers for tomorrow.
Well, guys, I really enjoyed the conversation so far, and it is clear this Wasabi wallet is amazing. And as Booger Guy said in the chat, wasabi. So this meme has finally made it to Bitcoin, but this time it's not a Ponzi scheme. This time it's actually fucking good code.
Yeah, feel free to create an advertisement that that is doing this Wasabi thing. Yeah, that would be funny.
Well, what if Bitcoin would have had such a beautiful marketing campaign than BitConnect? Ah, man, to the moon, to the moon.
That was actually, that guy was in my mind and came up with Wasabi. There's something like he could shout to. Yeah, Wasabi is something like he could shout to.
What's he say? The future is not like the past will be. No, no, no. We got to get him to do some ads. He's got good energy. Nobody can say that he doesn't have good energy. He loves BitConnect.
This is Carlos Matos coming to you live from the Bronx in New York.
Mm-hmm.
My wife doesn't believe me. What am I going to do? Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
It has, and we could either continue, shouting out the immense enjoyment that we have for this, or we could get back to do some actual work and improve it even further. So, Adam, I thank you so much for all the work that you have done with this amazing Wasabi wallet. It is truly amazing. Hey, guys, fellows at the World Crypto Network, we need to support development like this. And this is really important. So if you have a couple Satoshis, and preferably, first try out the Wasabi wallet. Send a couple of your own Bitcoin into this Wasabi wallet. Check it out. Play around a little bit. And then send out of this Wasabi wallet a few Satoshis to Adam. That will be fantastic, because that way he can continue dedicating this bunch of time and resources and dedication and entrepreneurship into making this an even better tool to defend your financial sovereignty, to defend your privacy. This is a weapon that Adam has built here, and he deserves more than just a little praise.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you also want to think of it. I mean, you can think of it as weaponized agorism, kind of like the point that you're making. But you can also think of it, you don't have to submit to the cult of altruism. If you donate some money to this project and it makes Bitcoin more valuable because it has more features, then you benefit. So, I mean, even with a completely selfish motive, dump some money into infrastructure, and it makes everything that you own more valuable. So go ahead and donate some money to development. It's a good idea all around if you hold lots of Bitcoin and are planning on hodling over extremely long horizons.
But more importantly, someone finally steal that money that I just sent to that wallet, because I would like to see that.
Damn it, I was gonna steal that.
You are tainted. Your wallet gets tainted.
Or do they become you? Oh man, my brain is melted right now.
It is, guys, and we've really talked bunches about this, and it really hurts physically having this many mindfucks in such a short period of time. So I'm very sorry for all these viewers that now might have physical brain damage. That really is not something that we wish for. But hopefully you will recover, and hopefully you can enjoy this amazing product, Wasabi Wallet, this amazing software on your own. So Adam, again, thank you so much for joining us. And where can the people find you?
Thanks. You can find me on Twitter or Reddit.
And there it is, at Wasabi Wallet. And the company that you work for is the CK Snarks .limited. And
ZK Snacks.
Snacks.
It's a snacks.
I messed that up, of course.
After Blog Digest. Actually, so I'm going with the name of Nopara73. So that's how you can find me on Twitter, GitHub, Medium, mainly.
Okay, perfect. And of course, we also had Blake on the show. So Blake, thank you very much for joining us, and where can the people find you?
They can find me at Bitcoin Blake, or at the library using the computer to watch Jordan Peterson videos, because that's where I spend a lot of time.
I just wanted to say that your first monologue was just like a Jordan Peterson monologue. I didn't say the joke.
Thank you, man. That makes me feel very good. I love Jordan Peterson a lot. I love the joke video that somebody made of Jordan Peterson talking about Burger King. It's one of the funniest things that I've ever heard, but it's spot on because
no,
it's a certain way of talking.
You've got to watch his video on cocaine.
I don't know why. Because I sound like I'm on cocaine.
No, I mean, like, it's literally the best thing in the world. Somebody just spliced up a whole lecture, like, do cocaine all the time. Like, what's wrong with you? Why wouldn't you do cocaine all the time?
Cocaine gets a bad rap, but Sigmund Freud discovered a lot of stuff snorting a whole bunch of cocaine, so maybe it's not all bad. Don't do cocaine.
Stick to the good stuff.
Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's what I was talking about. And of course, we have Shinobi was joining us, and you can find him on Brian Trolls. And again, the Block Digest, episode 124, just before this one. So Shinobi, thank you for doing a double episode. You must be exhausted.
A little bit, but I think it was worth it. It's a pretty fun conversation here. Really appreciate you bringing me on.
Oh, absolutely. You cannot shut us up about talking about Bitcoin. That is just impossible. Well, and again, guys, if you like this, if you like this amazing wallet, if you like this amazing product, look at this. I might even type it in. You can send 1,000 Bitcoin right with this QR code. Come on. It's easy as that. Well, come on. I mean, why not? And if you like this stuff that we put out here on the World Crypto Network, and especially at this show right here about open source everything, about supporting amazing open source projects like the Wasabi Wallet, you can donate here for the Purism Fund, where we'll then do a in-depth research and in-depth video analysis of the Purism laptop, especially the Hillebrand 15. So if you like this content right here, and if you like this wallet, please, I would much rather prefer that you actually donate to this wallet rather than to this one. But of course, why not both? So guys, again, thank you all so much for joining. That was a fantastic conversation. And I'm really thoroughly have enjoyed it, and I'm so much looking forward to the next one. Adam, you've done amazing work. Blake, thank you for joining us, and Shinobi, early adopter of this amazing technology, and thank you for spreading the good word. So all you guys, see you on the next show. Bye.
Well, hey, we should have some outro music, but we don't want to get copy strike, so I'll go ahead and play us out until you disconnect.